I am Null. Find me the Codex.
Hey guys, welcome back to AAI Beyond. In this video, we're going to discuss the storyline of the Marvel superhero film titled Venom: The Last Dance, which serves as the final chapter of the Venom trilogy. In this film, Eddie and Venom find themselves in a difficult situation as they are pursued by military forces and dangerous monsters. Before we jump into the plot, I want to remind you all that this content contains full spoilers. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Without further ado, let's dive right into the storyline. On a planet called Clinter, there exists a ruler named Null who is unable to move because his body is imprisoned. This prison was created by the alien parasitic symbiotes that Null himself had spawned. Null then commands a horde of monsters known as Zopage to explore the entire universe on a mission to find the Codex. The Codex is a special object that serves to free Null from his imprisonment. Once Null is free, he plans to destroy every planet he encounters and annihilate all symbiotes as revenge for their betrayal. After that, we see the condition of the main character, Eddie, along with the symbiote Venom, who still resides within him. Eddie is currently in a bar located in a different universe. From their conversation in the bar, we learn that this universe was once attacked by a powerful alien named Thanos. Shortly after, Eddie and Venom manage to return to their original universe, where they find themselves in a bar in Mexico. Soon after, Eddie sees news about the death of Detective Patrick, who was previously involved in the fight between Eddie, Venom, and Carnage. The news states that the police are hunting for Eddie, suspecting him to be Patrick's murderer. Upon hearing this information, Eddie feels he is a victim of mistaken identity, as he did not kill Patrick during his battle with Carnage. Consequently, Eddie decides to go to New York to find someone who can help clear his name. During his journey, Eddie encounters a gang led by Dario, who intends to kill him for exposing their crimes involving the confinement of many dogs. Realizing that Eddie's life is in danger, Venom takes control of Eddie's body and springs into action.
Starting from where?
Without much difficulty, Venom ultimately defeats the gang members. Eddie eventually continues his journey to New York after freeing all the dogs that were imprisoned by the gang. A few hours later, an important figure who has been monitoring Eddie's movements finally takes action. With information from this key figure, a general named Strickland successfully locates the bar that Eddie had previously visited. At that location, Strickland successfully secures a piece of Venom's body that was left behind. The next day, Strickland arrives at a special military base known as Area 51. He then enters an underground facility within the area. It turns out that this facility is running a program called Imperium, which aims to capture and study symbiotes. This program was established after Strickland successfully captured a group of symbiotes that had just begun to roam the Earth after landing on Amidst. Strickland, who serves as the supervisor of the Imperium program, is known to be good friends with Payne, one of the scientists involved in Imperium. While Strickland views symbiotes as dangerous creatures, Payne believes that these alien parasites could actually become allies to humanity. After handing over the piece of Venom's symbiote, Strickland is invited by Payne to observe an experimental subject that is currently imprisoned. According to Payne's records, this individual is the first human to successfully bond with a symbiote captured by Imperium. To Strickland's astonishment, this special subject turns out to be Detective Patrick, who had previously been declared dead. Patrick is able to rise after the Imperium scientists introduce a symbiote into his body in an attempt to save his life. When communicating with Payne and Strickland, Patrick expresses his confusion about his resurrection. He also feels fear because his body has become a host for the symbiote. Similar to Eddie, Patrick is able to access the memories and thoughts of the symbiote that has taken residence within him. Armed with this knowledge, Patrick is able to confirm that the symbiotes are actually trying to escape from the clutches of the centipede monsters created by Null. Meanwhile, Eddie and Venom manage to enter the United States by clinging to a Mexican plane that is flying to New York. While still hanging onto the aircraft, Venom takes control of Eddie's body when they are suddenly attacked by a centipede. In the climax of the battle, Venom survives after the centipede's body is destroyed by being pulled into the plane's propeller. For their safety, Venom intentionally drops himself and Eddie from the plane. In this moment, Venom transforms his body into a parachute so that Eddie can land safely. Once they reach the ground, Venom informs Eddie about the Xenopage. Just like the symbiotes, the Xenopage are creatures created by Null. Venom then explains that the other Xenopage will likely attack Eddie because he carries the codex within him. The Xenopage can only detect the codex when Venom is fully in control of Eddie's body. It is at this point that Eddie realizes he has become a target for the Xenopage because the codex resides within him. As we know, the codex is highly sought after by Null, as it is the key to his escape from the prison created by the symbiotes. Furthermore, Venom explains the origin of the codex within Eddie's body. It turns out that the codex was created because Venom successfully revived Eddie from death. This fact clarifies that Eddie was not completely dead when he was brought back to life by the symbiote. This is why Patrick's body does not carry a codex. Now, Eddie wants to destroy the codex so that he is no longer hunted by the Xenopage. However, Venom reveals that the codex can only be destroyed if either Venom or Eddie dies. Eddie finds himself trapped in a dilemma, as he does not want to sacrifice either himself or Venom in order to destroy the codex. After that, Venom takes control of a horse to speed up their journey to New York. As a result, Eddie rides their horse, which has above normal speed thanks to the powers of the symbiote. On the other hand, the Xenopage that previously attacked Eddie and Venom on the plane is able to come back to life due to its super regeneration abilities. Meanwhile, at Area 51, Strickland receives information from his subordinates about the incident involving the Mexican plane and Eddie. Now, Strickland is able to track Eddie's location and is ready to deploy forces to capture him. Time continues to pass until Venom is hit by a special weapon from Strickland's forces. Due to the sound waves from the weapon, Venom is forced to leave the horse's body and tries to escape with Eddie. In the process, Eddie is compelled to kill a soldier from Strickland. Meanwhile, Venom manages to evade Strickland's soldiers by taking control of a river-dwelling animal to protect Eddie. Venom quickly moves to re-enter Eddie's body and regain control. However, as a consequence, the Xenopage successfully tracks the codex within Eddie's body. This is when the Xenopage reappears at the location of the battle between Venom and Strickland's forces. While the Xenopage is focused on eliminating Strickland's soldiers, Eddie and Venom seize the opportunity to escape. After this incident, Strickland questions Patrick's symbiote about the Xenopage. The symbiote not only explains the nature of the Xenopage but also provides information about the Codex and Null. After listening to the information from Patrick's symbiote, Strickland is determined to kill Eddie or Venom to prevent Null from obtaining the Codex. If Null succeeds in acquiring the Codex and escapes from prison, he will not only annihilate all symbiotes but also many planets, including Earth. In other words, humanity will face extinction if Null is freed. Meanwhile, Eddie continues his journey to New York. Along the way, he meets a man named Martin, who is on vacation with his family. During their conversation, Martin reveals that he is a huge fan of aliens and has come to Area 51 to fulfill his dream of seeing aliens in person. Realizing that Eddie is a good person, Martin agrees to take some time to drive Eddie to Las Vegas. Upon reaching their destination, Martin leaves Eddie so that he and his family can continue their journey to Area 51. Shortly after, Eddie is denied entry into the casino because he looks like a homeless person. As he is leaving the place, he encounters a well-dressed man in a secluded area. This man then dares to confront Eddie, which makes Venom extremely angry, leading him to attack the man until he falls unconscious. From this incident, Eddie is able to take the man's clothes, allowing him to enter the casino since he now appears to be wealthy. While playing at the casino, Eddie accidentally runs into Chen. Just as a reminder, Chen is the owner of a convenience store and has a close friendship with both Eddie and Venom since they helped her in the past. After their encounter at the casino, Chen books a hotel room so she can have fun with Eddie and Venom during their stay. Venom boldly takes control of Eddie's body so he can dance with Chen. On the other hand, Eddie is actually concerned about Venom's reckless actions, as this could allow the Xenopage to detect the codex. At the same time, Strickland receives a report from his subordinates that Eddie is at a hotel in Las Vegas. Shortly after, the Xenopage arrives at Eddie's hotel room, preparing to seize the codex. Realizing this, Venom quickly hides within Eddie's body, causing the Xenopage to eventually leave the location as it loses track of the codex. Just seconds later, Strickland's forces arrive at Eddie's location with special weapons. They successfully extract Venom from Eddie's body and capture him. As Strickland's team heads toward Area 51, the Xenopage secretly follows their aircraft. In this way, the Xenopage successfully infiltrated the Area 51 facility, which is the site of the Imperium program. Meanwhile, Martin and his family managed to sneak into the outer area of Area 51. Martin then discovered that the location was deserted and not monitored by security personnel. This situation makes sense, as the government was planning to cease operations at Area 51 within a few days. Shifting to the Imperium facility, Venom is placed in a special symbiote cell due to his weakened condition after losing his host. A scientist named Suddy secretly plans to free Venom so that the symbiote can return to Eddie's body. In the same facility, Eddie is now locked in a cell that happens to be facing Patrick's cell. While Eddie is still puzzled about how Patrick came back to life, Patrick's symbiote takes control of his body to convey important information. Here, the symbiote urges Eddie to protect the codex from Null. Shortly after, Strickland removes Eddie from his cell for an important reason. Strickland also fires Payne and Suddy, as he now takes full control of the Imperium program. Following this, Strickland shoots Eddie in retaliation for killing his soldier. In that instant, Venom, who has been secretly brought in by Suddy, takes control of Eddie's body to heal his wounds. The actions of Venom ultimately attract the arrival of the Xenopage at the location. This leads to chaos, during which Patrick and his symbiote are killed by the Xenopage while trying to protect Venom. Shortly after, Venom urges Suddy to release the parasymbiote. Once it is out of the cell, the parasymbiote immediately takes control of several individuals to gain full power in order to fight against the Xenopage. At the same time, Suddy also asks the nearby symbiote to take control of his body so that he can join in the fight against the Xenopage.
You! Break us out of here!
This was witnessed by Martin's family, who were still engrossed in observing Area 51. After that, the symbiotes continued their struggle to defeat the Xenopage. In the midst of the battle, Eddie took a moment to meet with Martin's family to reveal his secret as Venom's host. At the same time, Strickland used a bazooka to attack the Xenopage. As a result of Strickland's attack, an explosion occurred, killing one of Venom's allied symbiotes. The same explosion also caused Martin's family to nearly fall from a height, but they managed to survive thanks to the assistance of Venom and the other symbiotes. Moments later, the Xenopage's body, which had been destroyed by their bazooka attack, was able to fully regenerate due to its super regeneration abilities. Cornered, the Xenopage finally sent an emergency signal to Null's prison to request assistance from other Xenopage. As a result, another Xenopage arrived at Venom's location to help its struggling friend. Now, the challenge for Venom and his allies became even greater as they had to fight against two Xenopage at once. In short, the collaboration between Eddie, Venom, and Suddy's symbiote ultimately succeeded in killing one Xenopage. However, shortly after, Eddie's life was threatened by an attack from another surviving Xenopage. Eddie managed to escape this deadly situation when Martin arrived and boldly attacked the Xenopage with a bazooka for his safety. Martin then returned to his car and quickly left Area 51 with his family. After that, the Xenopage called for its allies and collaborated to launch a mission to seize the Codex. Seeing this, Venom took control of Eddie's body to lure the Xenopage group to the acid spray tank. To make this strategy work, Venom exerted all his effort to take over the bodies of the Xenopage group. In the midst of his struggle, Venom intentionally separated himself from Eddie to protect the man. Venom ultimately asked Eddie to always remember him, as Venom would do the same. Seeing this situation, Eddie finally realized that Venom was ready to sacrifice his life to destroy the Codex and the Xenopage group. Strickland then believed that the Xenopage group could recover if their volume of acid that hit them was minimal. For this reason, Strickland boldly activated his grenade to blow up both acid tanks. On the other hand, Eddie survived the explosion because he had been given protection by Venom before they separated. Meanwhile, Pin merged with the symbiote he carried, granting him the ability to run at lightning speed and successfully saving Suddy from the explosion. Sometime later, Eddie woke up in a hospital and was met by a high-ranking officer we'll call George. George indicated that Eddie and Venom's problematic actions had, in some ways, helped humanity, so as a reward, Eddie was finally cleared of all legal charges against him. Days went by until Eddie finally recovered and began his new life as a normal human. As promised, Eddie always cherished the special moments he shared with Venom. Meanwhile, Null, still imprisoned, felt that he would be able to destroy Eddie's universe more easily. The reason is that the universe has lost its protector, which is none other than Venom. And the film comes to an end. So, there you have it, guys, the complete storyline of the movie Venom: The Last Dance, released in 2024. Thank you so much for watching this storyline, and see you in the next one. Bye, guys.